Oh, Natasha, sometimes I get so mad. But in the paper, it must be true. In our last episode, you remember, Wossamotta's football future looked very dim. First, Boris Badanov's Mud City Manglers had intimidated the referee.
Intimidated? Heck, I'm terrified.
Then they had turned their defensive game into trench warfare, complete with barbed wire and gun emplacements. And to make matters even worse, Boris had stolen all of Wossamotta's plays.
Natasha, now I think I'll take up smoking cigars.
Why now?
So I can light one with these football plays.
Other people use $100 bills, darling.
Right now, these are worth $1 million.
Yes, they were, for Boris had made hundreds of bets on the game in illegal gambling joints all over the nation.
Hey, Manny, it looks like that girls' team is gonna beat Wossamotta, you.
Don't worry, Lefty. I'm prepared.
You're gonna pay off?
You kidding? You see that emergency box on the wall?
In case of disaster, break glass. What's inside, money?
Nope, a one-way ticket to Brazil.
At that moment, the referee raised his pistol to signify the end of the first half. Lying flat on the ground, our heroes were safe momentarily, but the spectators in the end zone didn't make out as well.
Manny, the Mud City Manglers just shot away the end of the stadium. What do you say to that?
Adios, amigos. Boom, chicka, boom, chicka, boom, 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 chicka, boom, chicka, boom, chicka, boom, boom, boom.
When our heroes finally made it under fire to their dressing room, gloom was written on every face.
Except mine. I got despair written on mine.
If only they hadn't stolen our football plays.
Well, they left these in their place.
Bullwinkle, those aren't football plays. Those are battle plans for the Civil War.
War between the states, you mean?
Colonel Beauregard, you hear?
Us members of the League of Confederate Correctors is everywhere.
I've noticed.
I just can't abide the word civil.
Well, here, maybe you'd like to have these plans.
My pleasure. Chancellorsville. There was a battle. What a cavalry charge.
Looks more like an end run to me.
Bullwinkle, that's it. If the Manglers are going to use battle tactics on the gridiron, why can't we?
Why can't we?
Bullwinkle, you've done it again.
Come up with a brilliant plan and like that.
Yes, sir.
Now, there's just that one little question.
Yeah?
What is it?
This is the plan. Instead of football plays, we're going to use the battle plans of the... I was going to say war between the states.
Us Confederate correctors can never be too sure.
And so when the whistle blew for the second half of the game, it was a strange-looking team that emerged from the Wossamotta U dressing room.
Look at them fellas, Roof. They gonna fight the war all over again.
Shucks, we Southerners been doing that for years.
The ball was snapped, and Bullwinkle commanded.
By the right flank, ho!
The game started up again, but this time the Mud City Manglers were no match for the military genius of the flower of the Confederacy. In one great flanking motion, the Wossamotta team turned the end of the line and swept down the field.
Bullwinkle, you did it! There's the goal, just ahead!
Hey!
Bullwinkle, why are you stopping?
Which direction are we running in, Corporal?
Well, south, of course.
South, eh? I thought so. These plans call for us to go north.
And Bullwinkle turned and began dashing toward his own goal line. On he went, swivel-hipping his way through the opposition.
Dag nabbit, you said civil.
All right, war between the states, hipping his way through the opposition. Oh, what can save the game for our boys?
Maybe we could get some new writers.
Don't miss our next historical episode, Bullwinkle Buys a Fence, or Tickets Charge.
Once upon a time, there was a magnificent golden castle on a silver cloud high up in the sky, which has nothing to do with it because our story is about an old woodchopper who lived in a shack. But it's a good way to start a fairy tale. The old man was very happy, but he had a daughter who was very unhappy because, well, she was rather plain.
Yes, plain ugly.
Papa says I've got a face like 5 miles of bad road.
Right.
It was time for her to marry, but because she was so fat and ugly, none of the young men of the kingdom ever came to ask for her hand. She was terribly lonely. Then one day, the old man said to her,
Child, today is your birthday, and I've brought you something to keep you from being so lonely.
A man?
No, a mule.
Now, a mule wasn't exactly the kind of a companion she had in mind, but at least it was somebody to talk to.
Silly beast. I wonder if you were once a handsome prince changed into a mule by a wicked witch. If so, I could break the spell with a kiss.
But it was no use. The mule was a mule and always had been a mule. Then early one morning, the old man instructed his daughter to take a bundle of sticks into the village.
A bundle of sticks? What for?
How should I know? But somebody's always carrying a bundle of sticks around in fairy tales. You know that.
So the young girl took the bundle of sticks and decided to ride her mule into the village, and then a very strange thing happened. Unknown to her, the moment she climbed onto the mule's back, she changed into a beautiful maiden. When she reached the village, she could hardly believe her eyes. For a handsome young prince rode up to her on a snow-white horse and exclaimed,
"Ah, fair lady, you are truly the most lovely beauty in the land."
The young girl looked him in the eye and said,
What's the matter? You nuts or something?
With your permission, I should like to call upon you tonight, say 8 o'clock.
Flushed with excitement, she raced for home, but when she arrived and stepped off of her mule, she immediately returned to her fat little ugly self. That night, promptly at 8, the prince, sitting astride his white charger, knocked at the door.
Hello?
Is your sister home?
I don't have a sister. I live here alone with my father.
Oh, I must have the wrong house. Bye.
The poor girl was broken-hearted and couldn't figure out what had gone wrong. The following day, her father again asked her to go into the village, but this time to pick up a bundle of sticks.
It'll take your mind off all that ugly.
No sooner had she climbed upon her mule's back again than once again she was changed into a beautiful maiden. On her way to the village, she chanced to pass a clear, still pool of water, looking into which she saw her reflection and was shocked to see that she was now so very beautiful. She hopped off her mule for a closer look, and instantly she changed back into her former ugly self, and then she suddenly realized what had happened.
I get it now. This is a magic mule. As long as I sit on this beast, I'm a beauty.
She jumped back onto the mule, and the beauty and the beast dashed off to find the prince. When the prince saw her coming, he rode up to her on his gallant steed and said,
"Ah, lovely beauty, I found you again. Please say that you'll be mine so that we may be married."
Yes, but on one condition, that I remain on my mule at all times.
So be it, my love. And so that we start off on the right foot, I shall stay on my horse as long as you stay on your mule.
And thus they were married. As the years went by, the young girl was very happy, but having to sit on her mule day and night did pose quite a problem. She had to sleep in a special bed, bathe in a special tub, and eat at a special table. True to his word, the prince also stayed on his horse, and he was a good husband. Every Saturday night he took her dancing at the palace, where they were the most striking couple on the floor. Then one day, as she rode in the garden...
Oops! The wind blew my new bonnet off.
Not stopping to think, she hopped off of the mule to get the bonnet, and she immediately became ugly again.
Oh, good heavens, what have I done? I've got to get back on that silly mule before...
But it was too late, for just then the prince rode up.
Pardon me, old hag, but have you seen my wife? Wait a minute. This is her mule.
Yes, and I am your wife.
Realizing that she was trapped, the girl sadly confessed the whole story to her husband. But instead of being angry, he did an amazing thing.
Yahoo! Yippee!
I don't get it. Are you happy to find out that I'm really ugly?
Oh, no. I'm happy to know that I can finally get off this blasted horse. You see, I'm only a handsome prince when I stay on him.
With that, the prince hopped off his horse and...
You see? I'm as ugly as you are.
Eesh, uglier.
We were meant for each other.
Darling.
Sweetheart. And just think, no more saddle sores.
And so they were able to live happily ever after, which only goes to prove that a mule and his honey are soon parted.
Presenting the Fisher-Price 3-in-1 tournament table,
Breakfast is ready. One more ball, Mom.
where a simple game of pool is just the beginning.
Time for lunch.
Soon, it explodes into an all-out tournament with table tennis balls flying
Dinner's ready.
and a glide hockey game so fast and furious,
Good night, boys.
there's no telling how long you'll play.
One more.
The Fisher-Price 3-in-1 tournament table, table tennis, hockey, pool. Batteries not included.
Hey, what are you guys doing? Get lost, Frankie. You eating Kellogg's Apple Jacks? Duh. But it doesn't taste like apples. So? And you like it? Duh. Why?
We just do, okay?
Happily Cinnamon Apple Jacks is part of this complete breakfast. You can't explain its great taste, so why try?
Kellogg's Apple Jacks.
We just get it.
All right.
Frankie, you like Apple Jacks?
Duh.
A question, Sherman. Where is Toronto?
Out on a reservation with the Lone Ranger, Mr. Peabody.
You're close. Actually, Toronto is in Canada, and that is our destination for today.
What great name in history are we going to meet up there?
Constable Archibald Woolley.
Never heard of him.
He was the first Royal Canadian Mounted Policeman. I instructed Sherman to set the Wayback Machine for the year 1869, the place an outpost in the wilderness territory of Toronto. And before you could say, halt or I'll shoot, we were standing inside the post headquarters watching a very irate Constable Woolley.
What's the matter, Mr. Peabody? He's tearing the place to pieces.
Looking for something, Constable?
Yes, by George, a new job.
You mean you're quitting the Mounties?
Yes, the whole thing's a bust. For my very first case, I'm supposed to bring in Ottawa O'Toole.
Well, bring him in.
I can't.
Why not?
Because of our motto. We always get our man. Ottawa O'Toole is a girl.
Well, I convinced the constable that girl or no girl, Ottawa O'Toole had to be brought in. Following up the latest information as to her whereabouts, we arrived at the Pettigrew Fur Company only to find it in a complete state of disorder and a going out of business sign over the main gate.
Trouble here, Pettigrew?
Trouble ain't a word for it. Ottawa O'Toole struck again. She's ruined me.
What did she do this time?
She crossed all my minks with skunks. Now my business stinks.
One good thing came of all this. O'Toole had left a very clear trail. Hoping to head her off before she could commit another atrocity, Constable Woolley took off, but didn't get very far, for Miss O'Toole had set a booby trap.
Yes, and she caught a booby, too.
Undaunted, we picked up the trail anew and followed it to the edge of a dense forest of mighty Saskatchewan spruce. There on a tree was a wanted poster. Look, Sherman.
Wanted, Ottawa O'Toole and her two sisters, Hermione and Gingold.
This unfortunately gave the constable an idea.
If only I could find two ladies and talk them into posing as O'Toole sisters, I'd put them in jail, and when she came to break them out, I'd have her.
Unfortunately, ladies were hard to come by in the wilderness, so the constable did what he considered to be the next best thing.
How come I have to wear a bonnet, Mr. Peabody?
Because most girls don't have cowlick, Sherman. We were locked up in the nearest jail and awaited developments which were soon to come. As Constable Woolley had figured, Ottawa O'Toole took the bait.
Look, Hermione, a rock with a note tied to it.
Suppressing the urge to throttle Sherman, I instead read the note. Sisters, I will take care of the Mountie and have you out in a jiffy. Signed, Ottawa. It seems as though she means the constable bodily harm.
Yeah, we better warn him. Constable, come here, hurry.
Be with you in a moment. Someone's at the door.
But that's what we want to...
Good evening, madam.
We're still locked up. How's she going to get us out?
Just then there was a tap at the window. A hand thrust its way through the bars and dropped a long, thin object at Sherman's feet.
A burning candle, Mr. Peabody.
That is not a candle.
Are you sure?
Positive. When we came to, we were trussed up in the back of a speeding buckboard, heading into a remote area. Our driver was obviously the fiendishly clever Ottawa. Also, obviously, she had discovered the ruse and was out to dispose of us.
I'm awful hungry, Mr. Peabody. Mind if I eat my jelly beans?
What jelly beans? I ripped a hole in your pocket, and you've been dropping them at the rate of 3 beans per quarter mile.
What did you do that for?
To provide a trail for Constable Woolley. Sure enough, a scant 400 feet behind was the redoubtable constable, not only following the trail, but eating it as well. It was almost sundown when Ottawa O'Toole brought the buckboard to a stop at the edge of a lofty precipice.
How come she's stopping here, Mr. Peabody?
Obviously, she intends to push the buckboard and us over. But before she could do so...
Ottawa O'Toole, you're under arrest.
Good work, Mr. Constable. Tie her up.
I I can't do it. We always get our man, not our woman. This isn't cricket.
O'Toole would have escaped had it not been for my superior powers of deduction. So grabbing a nearby rock...
You can't hit a lady, Mr. Peabody.
She's no lady, Sherman.
The disgrace of it all. Capturing a woman instead of a man.
Ah, but you did get your man. Observe! Otto O'Toole was a man disguised as a woman.
Bravo! Hear, hear, and all that, Tommy Rot.
Gee, how did you know Otto was a man?
Because she had 5 o'clock shadow at 3:30.
That Constable Woolley sure is a great policeman.
Very true, but he became even a better actor.
He did? I never heard of him as an actor.
Well, of course you have, Sherman. Surely everybody's heard of Mountie Woolley?
That loud wailing noise you hear is the sobbing of thousands of bookmakers all over the country. For every one of these illegal gamblers bet that unbeaten Wossamotta U would trounce a girls' team known as the Mud City Manglers, little realizing that the Manglers were owned by Boris Badenov and had been coached by fearless leader himself.
Hold that line, fellows.
Oh, they won't retreat, Badenov.
How can you be sure?
The second team is right behind them, with bayonets.
Huh?
See?
The hapless bookies watched as the Manglers held Wossamotta U scoreless for the first half.
I'll never make another bet again as long as I live.
3-1 you do.
You're on.
You lose.
Things looked a little brighter for our boys when Rocky decided to play the game according to some old battle plans of the war between the states.
Now you're talking, Yankee.
But even this idea backfired when Bullwinkle decided to take the plan seriously.
But Bullwinkle...
Colonel Moose to you, Corporal.
Oh, boy.
What direction are we heading?
South?
You mean south?
Yes, Sue. So what?
This here plan says we march north. North it is.
And with flags flying, Bullwinkle began running toward his own goal line.
Again?
Disaster was imminent, but as fate would have it, the clock suddenly marked the end of the quarter.
What's the trouble?
Now the teams change goals. Moose is now running in right direction.
Yes, at that moment, Bullwinkle dashed into the end zone for a touchdown.
Hooray! That's 6 points!
But the referee, who was under some pressure, decided...
No, only 3 points.
Great!
It's a handicap. After all, you're playing an all-girl team.
Yous wouldn't want to take advantage of a lady, would yous?
But you're not a lady.
Sir, yous is a cat.
Penalty on the play.
About time. How many yards do we get?
I'm penalizing Wossamotta 30 yards, insulting a lady.
Yeah, but that puts us behind our own goal line. That's a touchback.
Right, 3 points for Mud City.
3 points.
They get an extra point for being girls.
Bullwinkle, we can't win.
That's the general idea, Squirrel.
And who are you?
I'm the leader of the all-girl team.
You are?
I'm the Phil Spitalny of the gridiron.
Yeah, but those aren't really girls.
I know that. You know that. But does the referee know that?
Do you know that?
All I know is this fella behind me has a gun aimed right at my 50-yard line.
Bullwinkle, that fella's intimidating a referee.
Not very well. He doesn't look like one at all.
No, I mean he's threatening that poor little guy's life.
Well, that does it, Rock. Now my dandruff is up. Give me those battle plans. Ladies or no ladies, this is war.
And it was. In the next 10 minutes, Wossamotta U replayed the entire last 2 years of the Civil War.
War between the states.
And this time, the South won.
In that case, you can call it the Civil War.
Yes, just before the final gun sounded, Rocky flashed into the clear and zoomed for the goal line.
Bullwinkle, pass it to me. Ollie!
But that was the moment Boris Badenov had been waiting for. He quickly seized a large rock, painted it to look like a football, and hurled it right at the unsuspecting squirrel. Oh, don't miss our next heart-stopping episode, A Rock for Rock, or To Each His Stone.
Hang tight. Nickelodeon's Moose-a-Rama will be right back.
Is this thing on?
Here, I'll show you. See, let me see.
I love video scavenger hunts.
Spotted Dog, Rock Group.
Rock group? Hi, Mom. I don't see geek on it.
Is McDonald's on there? Let's roll. Star.
Spotted Dog, Twins, Moving Van, Group Headstand. Got it.
Twins? Oh, I always see twins. And McDonald's.
Oh. Spotted Dog. Moving Van.
I always see moving vans at McDonald's.
Come on. It's moving. It's a van. It counts.
Now check it out.
Hey, a rock group. Works for me. What's next? Right convertible?
Skycam.
What are you doing up there? Get down.
I always see red convertible.
At McDonald's.
Let's go.
Yeah. Hey, we're doing good.
I'm doing great.
Look, twins.
Not anymore.
Still need a man in uniform.
Hey, whoa. Hey, man in uniform. I knew we'd find everything at McDonald's.
But why don't you say something?
Surprise bundle from the Magic Nursery.
Bundle baby, my bundle baby. I can hear the heartbeat. Wow. I can feel my baby kissing. Amazing. Is it a girl or a boy? It's a girl. Bundle baby, how I love you so. And our hearts will be together. Kissing again. Everywhere we
Each sold separately. My Bundled Baby. 1 in 36 is twins. Details on package. No purchase necessary. Batteries not included.
You are in the O-Zone. And now back to Nickelodeon's Moose-a-Rama.
And here, with his bird's eye view and a brain to match, is Mr. Know-It-All.
Our subject for today is how to be a beatnik. Some people think the beatnik is merely a bum with sunglasses, but he is more than that. Though not much. The first step in becoming a beatnik is to grow a beard. This can be a long process, particularly if you're a girl. Clothing-wise, we should remember this important rule. The well-dressed beatnik is seldom neatnik. Beatniks hang out in unemployment lines, health food stores, but most of all in coffee houses. Beatnik joints have lots of atmosphere, but it's usually too dark to see it.
Coffee, tea, or goat's milk?
Coffee, I guess.
Coffee we got. What kind?
Let's see. Espresso, 75 cents. Cappuccino, 85. Sanko, 50. Refill, 25. Think I'll have some of that there refill.
Why don't you try Cafe Minuto?
Cafe Minuto? What's that?
Instant coffee. Special for you, I make with dirty water. How is?
Terrible.
Good. Should taste bad to last drop.
The beatnik is often fond of reading poetry to jazz. Thusly, Mary had a swinging lamb. He followed her to school. She hocked his wool for a bongo drum, and man, that lamb was cool.
Thank you, Mr. Know-It-All.
And now for an encore.
Episode, our heroes were right on the verge of winning their game with the Mud City Manglers, or losing it, as the case may be. For Rocky the Flying Squirrel had just zoomed into the clear of the goal line and shouted back at Bullwinkle,
"A forward pass, Bullwinkle! Hurry!"
Oop! But the oop had come from Boris Badenov, who had thrown not a football, but a cleverly disguised rock.
Would you like a nice squirrel coat, fearless leader?
You got one bad enough?
No, but I know somebody who won't be needing one in a minute.
But let us stop everything right here and change our scene to an emergency meeting of the Bookmakers and Gamblers Protective Association.
Fellow bookies, I would like to take advantage of this brief moment to remind you of our untenable position.
Our what?
Our lousy setup.
Oh.
Look, the squirrel is going to get clobbered, right?
Right.
Now, if he loses the game, we got to pay off to Badenov, right?
Right.
Wrong. There ain't enough money in the world to pay off at the odds we gave him.
So what do we do, skip town?
Would I suggest a cheap trick like skipping town?
Sorry, Mickey.
I suggest we skip the country.
Where do we go?
Yeah.
Who'd want crooks like us?
Follow me, boys. I know a country that'll take anybody.
But the villains had reckoned without the keen eyes and instant reflexes of our furry hero.
Hokey smokes, that's not a football!
And Rocky swiftly zipped to one side. The heavy stone passed him and plummeted right for the timid referee, who still had a gun held at his back by one of Boris's thugs.
Duck! Duck!
Hey, what's he mean, duck, duck?
Maybe there's a flock of them coming over.
Hey, that ain't no flock of ducks. That's a rock.
But where's Bullwinkle?
You cold?
Yes, out of the pall and smoke and flame that covered the gridiron galloped Bullwinkle Moose, the football dangling from his antlers.
Quick, Bullwinkle! There's only a few seconds left.
Now, what do we do bad enough?
Relax, fearless leader.
Relax.
Sure, Mike. Look at this diagram of the end zone.
What are the circles?
Landmines. I've mined the whole end zone.
Explosive landmines in a football field? Bad enough, that's a rotten thing to do.
I just knew you would like it, fearless leader.
Boris, I like to have you around. You're my kind of folks.
Could I call you FL?
I'm on my way up, Boris, and I'm going to take you with me.
But alas for the villain's plans, Bullwinkle dashed into the end zone, turned and galloped all the way across it, and didn't step on one mine.
Touchdown!
Yay!
6 points!
Wossamotta wins!
Yay!
So, you had landmines in the end zone, eh? Bad enough?
I can't understand it, fearless leader. I could swear I had one right. You were right, fearless leader. You're on the way up, and I'm going with you.
And so Wossamotta U finished its season unbeaten.
Only one fly in the ointment, Bullwinkle.
Well, that's about par for ointment. What is it?
I didn't like all those gamblers escaping to some other country.
If Rocky had only known the bookie's boat was even then approaching its destination.
Well, there it is, man. Pennsylvania.
And look, there's a reception committee to meet us. Hey, Charlie, if I ever get you 10, we goofed.
Bet heavily, Schweinhund. It's a sure thing.
And so we come to the end of another fun-filled episode of Rocky and Bullwinkle.
You know, Rock, he sure got some funny ideas about fun.
Attention, counterintelligence. The top secret is that Get Smart is on next. Chaos, Control, Max.
Well, it won't be a secret for long if you keep yelling about it like that.
Get Smart, next on Nick at Night.
The race to end all races. The battle to end all battles. The feat to end all feats. It's Apocalypse Feat. Watch the premiere Thursday at 7, 6 Central on the network to end